Good evening, everyone. Today is March the 12th, and I hope this video finds you all doing fine. So today I'm actually interviewing someone who gets paid all of the time to give speeches. And in thinking about this, I thought there would be no better person than my pastor, because he does sermons, he does funerals, and he does weddings. So all three he does, and he gets paid for doing these. So his name is Pastor Larry Marlar, and he is the pastor at Zion Chapel Assembly of God Church, and he's been pastoring there for 38 years. I started off by asking him what strategies had he used to constructively deal with his nervousness. And he replied with laughter, and he said, well, I try to start off with maybe a joke. I try to, get the audience engaged and kind of put it on them, other words. Take all the pressure and the spotlight off of him when he's first getting up there. And so I thought, well, that's a pretty good idea to reflect it back on the audience. And he said, that's perfect way to get started. Then I asked him, do you have any tips that would help others deal with a performance anxiety? And he said, well, just get up there and do it. Don't let anybody know, if you mess up, just try to act like you didn't mess up, Just keep going no matter what. And then I said, okay, well, what other advice would you give to speakers that are maybe just beginning? And he said, well, when I first started and got up there and I would be giving my sermon, I was nervous. He said, I really was. But he said, I remember my father, because his father was a minister as well, told him to get up there and look above the people's heads. And he said, if you do that, you won't focus on the audience. You're going to be looking at one certain spot. And he said, that will help you. At least it did him anyway, is how he said it. He said, some people, it may not help. But if you're not focusing on the audience, then you can kind of just stare at that spot and just kind of keep going with what you need to say. And then he said, really the hardest part of it all is getting started. Once you get started, you can just kind of flow right through it. So I thought, that's pretty good advice. Just get up there and go with it. Don't stop. Just do it and get it done. So, after this interview was over with Pastor Marlar, I think the most useful advice that really I got from it was basically all of it. He gave some really good advice. And, everything he said was pretty well legit. Getting up there, not thinking about if you're messing up or if you're going to mess up or whatever. Getting up there and just acting like you know what you're doing, even if you don't. Maybe staring at a spot on the wall and not staring at the audience. And basically getting up and just going up there to begin. If you can do all of that and get through it, then you have gave a wonderful speech at the end. You made it and you did it. So, I thank you all for joining me today and listening to the interview that I had with the pastor. Thanks.